Okay, dear students, welcome back to your class again with the lesson number 9, Shravan Kumar. The second video of these lessons. Now we are going to the to understand the what happened the next part of the next story. Okay, take the next page. The young man had a pot in his hand, but he was in a pool of blood. It was Dasharatha's blunder that he made a mistaken and the sound of water filling the pot with that of an animal drinking water. Dasharatha saw him and said, "Oh, I am sorry, young man." The young man had a pot in his hand. Shravan Kumar's hand, there was a pot to take the water, to bring the water. The young man had a pot in his hand, but he was a pool of blood. Pool of blood means that pool means a small area of the lake, just a small pond. That's a pool of blood. It was Dasharatha's blunder. Dasharatha's blunder means great mistake. Dasharatha's great mistake. That he had mistaken and he misunderstood that the sound of water filling the pot with that of an animal drinking water. And Dasharatha misunderstood that the sound of filling the water in the pot, that was just as a sound of an animal drinking the water. So Dasharatha made a great mistake, a great blunder. Dasharatha saw him and said, "Oh, I am very sorry, young man." The boy saw Dasharatha, "Oh prince, why did you hurt me? What wrong I did you do?" Dasharatha was repenting. Repenting means feel sorry for. He sighed, "Oh God, what have I done? I was shocked. I went near Shravan and drew out the arrow and asked, 'Who are you?' The boy replied, 'I am Shravan. My old and blind parents are thirsty. Please go and give them water to quench their thirst.'" The Dasharatha asked to Shravan Kumar, "Who are you?" The Shravan Kumar replied to Dasharatha, "I am Shravan Kumar. I am Shravan. My old and blind parents, they are sitting there. And now they wanted the water. Please go to them and give the water for their thirsty." Now Shravan, my old and blind parents are thirsty. Please go and give them water to quench their thirst. They are in a kanwar in the nearby forest. Nobody else is there to look after them. No one. There is no. And he passed away. After saying this word, the Shravan Kumar was died. He passed away. The blind parents were waiting for their son. They heard the sound of footsteps. The father said anxiously, "Where were you, son? What took you to so long?" With the grief and the heavy heart almost sobbing means crying. With the crying, Dasharatha tried to speak, but would not. Dasharatha wanted to speak to them, but he did not produce any of the sound due to the deep sorrow. "Why don't you speak?" With the great difficulty, Dasharatha would speak. "I am Dasharath from Ayodhya." And Dasharatha, prince of Ayodhya, he told to the parents of Shravan Kumar, "I am Dasharath of Ayodhya. I have committed a terrible sin by mistake, by chance mistake. I had made a great mistake. I shoot your son. I beg your pardon." I took their breath away and then they burst into tears. It took their breath away and they burst their tears. And the old parents, they were crying. The old couple went on crying for long. Dasharatha's parents, blind parents, after knowing these incidents, and they realized that their son was died. Dasharatha killed their son. They were crying. The old couples went on crying for a long time. They said to Dasharatha, "Carry us to his body. We wanted to meet his body. To please take us to that body. Carry us to his body." Dasharatha led them to the place where Shravan's body lay. The blind parents sighed with grief and cursed the prince. They cursed the prince. As we are separated from our dear son, you too will die in an agony and grief a longing for your dear son. The old blind parents of Shravan Kumar, they cursed Dasharatha. As we are separated from our son, now we are separated from our son. You also, you will be die in agony. Agony means deep pain and grief, longing for your dear sons. You will not meet your dear son. You will also want to meet your son, but that will not possible to meet. Due to the grief pain, you will also die. Several years later, that incident solved. Several years later, after several years, Dasharatha became the king of Ayodhya. At that time, Dasharatha was the prince. Now, Dasharatha was the king of Ayodhya. He had sent to him eldest and dearest son Ram. Ram is the son of Dasharatha, and he had to send his eldest and dearest son Ram to exile for 14 years. He died broken-hearted, sighing for his son Ram. Dasharatha actually was died with a broken-hearted, and it was only due to the case of the Shravan Kumar's old and blind parents. Several years before several years, they cursed Dasharatha. So that's why now Dasharatha was also crying him. Then Dasharatha was died. He died broken-hearted, sighing for his son Ram. This was a story. This story was taken from the great epic Ramayana, and I think that you already studied and heard this story. But now we studied the story in English with English explanation, and we will study some English answers and other words that will also help to more and more detailed understanding about the story. Okay, I think that you are also enjoying to hear the story. So God bless you. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching this video.